Hey, yo, what is up, everybody? Coach Chad here, the CEO of the Next Level Coaching Academy. I hope you guys are doing amazing and welcome into the Fit CEO podcast. All right, we're going to dive right into it. I only got 29 minutes until my next call. If you are watching on YouTube, yes, I'm in a dark room. Yes, I have a ring light. I can't control that the sun sets at like 5 o'clock now. And yeah, I wanted to get the podcast done today. So that's why I'm in the dark and have this ring light and it looks a little bit ominous and creepy, but get over it. All right, let's dive into the content. What we're going to be talking about today is I want to continue the theme of the recession talks. One of my main goals during this hard time is to step up even more as a leader for my company, for myself. But I also want to step up as a leader in the online fitness coaching space and accomplish two things. One, I want to give you guys the strategic wherewithal to be successful during these hard times. But I also want to talk about the mindset aspect during these hard times, because I think that's going to be the most important aspect, even more so than strategy, because you are going to be challenged and you are going to be tested like you have never been challenged and tested in your business career. Up until this point, if you are between the ages of 20 and 30, and or if you started your online fitness coaching business in the past 10 years, it has been extremely fruitful and extremely easy to grow. And that's because our economy has been really on the up and up ever since the recession of 2008 concluded. It's really been on the up and up, and we haven't really had too much of an economic downturn or economic hard time in the past 10 years. If you want to throw COVID into that mix, you can. But if I'm being honest, COVID was great for the online fitness coaching space. So if anything, those were more fruitful times than hard times. They were hard times for the world, don't get me wrong, and they were hard times for anybody who was an in-person trainer. And they may have even been hard times for you because you're cooped up in your house all day long. But from a business standpoint, COVID was a blessing in disguise for this space. So wrapping up that point, the past 10 years have been pretty damn fruitful for this space. And we are about to go through an extremely, extremely hard time. You're probably already seeing it, right? You're probably already seeing it's harder to sign clients. You're probably already seeing it's harder to generate leads. You're probably already seeing that your own clients maybe are worried and have requested to cancel or requested to get a refund. And you're starting to notice like, holy shit, this is hard. Holy shit, I'm not sure if I'm going to survive this. Holy shit, what am I going to do? You probably have already started to have these thoughts. And that's why I wanted to record this podcast. And that's why I will continue to talk about how to approach and handle these hard times for however long it lasts. Could be a month, could be 2 months, probably not, probably between 6 to 15 months, if I'm being completely honest. But like I said, my goal during this is to step up as a leader in the space for myself, for my team, and for our clients, and for all of you guys as well. And with that being said, let's dive into the content. So the last podcast I did was mostly talking about the strategic side of approaching the recession. Definitely one to refer back to. And as we NLCA, meaning we here in this example, as we progress through this, we are going to test and try multiple different things, and I will always bring those to the podcast and share them with you. But if you haven't listened to the most recent podcast, those are the current things that we are focused on in order to continue to increase sign-ons. This month, I believe we are set to sign on 62 clients. Our year-to-date month average is about 52 to 55. So we are still keeping pace at that. If anything, we are surpassing that, which is a massive positive. So like I said, if you haven't listened to the most recent podcast, I really dive into the strategy piece. Today, we're going to dive into the mindset piece. Let's do it. So like I said, you're going to be tested like you never have before. There's going to be challenges like you have never seen before. There are going to be days where you want to quit. There are going to be new things that pop up that you do not know how to handle. But the only difference between the people that last and don't last are going to be the ones that know how to mentally approach these challenges. Now, I'm going to take a quote here from Andy Frisella. It's going to be paraphrasing, but he said that he approaches all days that are challenges as test days. And I've definitely adopted this. I started listening to Andy probably back in 2015, and I definitely adopted this mindset. And what he says is that any single time that he has a day that he calls a day that would be challenging, he calls it a test day. And to take that a step further, here's what a test day means. He says that as you are on your entrepreneurial journey or any journey of success, the universe is going to test you to see how bad you really want it. The universe is going to throw a shitstorm your way, and that shitstorm is going to be symbolic of, hey bro, hey you, how bad do you actually really want this? Do you want this so bad that you are willing to go through clients quitting because of the recession? Do you want this so bad that you may go days without booking a call or closing a lead? Do you want this so bad that every single sales call that you show up to, you get financial objection after financial objection after financial objection? How bad do you want this is how you have to view those test days. And every single time that I have a test day, every single time that I'm faced with a challenge, that is my mindset now. My mindset now is, how bad do I want this? Universe, throw it all at me. I am ready. I will persevere. I will push forward. I will be determined. I will use discipline. I will use grit. Any word that you can come up with to describe that, I will deploy it to make sure that I'm successful during this time. And I want you guys to start deploying that mindset every single day, every single challenge. This is a test from the universe. How bad do I want this? Now, that's from Andy Frisella. That's something that's been really helpful for me, and I wanted to share that for you guys. Here are the 4 things that I want you to keep in mind. All right, here are the 4 things that I wrote down that I think are going to be very powerful questions that will lead you through these challenging times, that will lead you through these test days. And I want you to write these questions down. Question number 1 is a very, very simple one. If you quit, who else are you letting down aside from yourself? And I'm going to talk selfishly here for a second. If I chose to quit NLCA today, who would I be letting down? Well, 1, I'd be letting down myself. 2, I'd be letting down all 30 staff members inside of NLCA. 3, I'd be letting down all, I don't even know how many clients we have right now, 2,000 or something crazy like that. I'd be letting down every single current client, and I'd also be letting down every single future client. And lastly, I'd be letting down the universe and the reason that I was put on this earth. And I believe that I was put on this earth to push entrepreneurship, to push and challenge individuals to grow and be better. And if I chose to quit on my own mission, just because I had some challenges, just because I had some hard times, that'd be pretty weak. That would be pretty selfish. So one question that I want you to lead with, every single time that you are faced with a challenge, every single time that you get a financial objection, a client wanting to quit, that you didn't book a call that day, they didn't close a call that day, I want you to ask yourself, if I choose to quit right now, if I choose to wave the white flag, if I choose, I'm done, I'm shutting this business down, I want you to ask yourself, who else are you affecting aside from you? Who else are you affecting aside from you? And if you can't do it for yourself, at least do it for them. That's question number 1 that I want you to think about. Here's question number 2. Question number 2, how much are you willing to sacrifice? How much are you willing to endure? How much are you willing to put on the back burner so that you could focus on this? For the past 2-3 months, I don't even know how long it's been, I've been easily working over 12-hour days, probably mostly 14, 15, 16-hour days. I shit you not. I was on a call on Sunday, and I don't know if you guys have MacBooks, but something popped up on my computer to tell me my average screen time. My average screen time, it popped up when it told me on Saturday, was 18 hours. And I was like, holy shit, I really have been dedicated to this. And that's not because, I want to work 18-hour days. Sure, I love work, right? I love work like every other entrepreneur does. But, I'm choosing to work 18-hour days because I have to right now. I have to sacrifice spending extra time with Caitlin. I have to sacrifice going to the gym. I have to sacrifice whatever other things are important to me outside of my business, because right now my business needs me. Right now, my staff members need me. Right now, my clients need me. So my question to you is, how much are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice hanging out on the couch on the evening and relaxing? Are you willing to sacrifice not being stressed 24/7? Are you willing to sacrifice not being anxious? Are you willing to sacrifice feeling 100% rested? Are you willing to sacrifice going out? Are you willing to sacrifice, not having drinks with the boys or the gals? Are you willing to sacrifice those things? It's a really powerful question. And I want you to think really deep about it. As this thing progresses and as it gets harder and as you're faced with more and more and more challenges, what are you willing to sacrifice? It's a powerful question that I need you to ask yourself. And next time that you want to quit, next time that you're faced with something that you do have to sacrifice, I want you to ask yourself, how much am I willing to sacrifice to make sure that I reach my dream? Is the alternative worth it? Or is making the sacrifice worth it? Because I know if I push through this, and I know I've talked about this in my previous podcasts, if I push through this, I'm going to create a company that's going to take a lot of the market share, because other fitness coaches and other people are not going to be willing to make the same sacrifices as me. So you have to look beyond the immediate pain. You have to look beyond the immediate suffering. Are you willing to make the short-term sacrifices for the long-term gain that other coaches are not willing to make? Because I promise you, there's going to be a ton of coaches that aren't willing to sacrifice those things. What has happened a lot in the most recent cultural movement? What has happened a lot in the most recent cultural movement is people have poo-pooed work, and people have really put feelings at a high pedestal, not feeling stressed, not feeling anxious, making sure I feel good all the time, making sure I feel rested all the time. Well, I can promise you, if you're going to continue to push forward in your business during this time, you are going to feel a lot of those things: stressed, anxious, tired, overwhelmed. And how do I know? I'm living it day to day right now. But like I said, is it worth it? If you continue to push and you know that you are making sacrifices that not every other online fitness coach is making right now, is that worth it? And the answer for me is yes. And I hope it's the same for you too. That's the second thing that I want you to think about. The third thing that I wrote down here, and this is going to be very aligned with our company, one of our company tenets, act first. And I'll come back to that point here in a minute. But what I wrote down is the third thing I want you to consider as you're going through these challenges is, when you don't have all the answers, how will you respond? Because I promise you, you're not going to have all the answers during this time. There are going to be challenges that you have never seen before. You're going to be faced with objections that you've never seen before. You are going to be faced with clients quitting that maybe you thought would never quit before. But when these things come up and you don't know the answers to these challenges, and you've never seen these challenges before, how do you respond? Tying this back to our company tenet, act first. We have a company tenet internally, and it's called act first. And the premise of act first is, when you don't have all the answers, trust your gut and take action. And if it ends up being the wrong thing, failure equals opportunity, and we can use that as a learning lesson. And that's what I want to empower you to do. There's going to be many, many times that you are faced with things that you just don't know the answer to. And sure, you can Google it, and sure, you can ask a business coach, and sure, you can ask a friend. But what I really want you to do is, I want you to trust your gut and take the action on what you think is best. And if it ends up being the wrong thing, fuck it. Failure equals opportunity. We learn from it, and that's how we grow. So that's the third thing that I want you to consider. As you're faced with new challenges, and as those challenges continue to pop up and pile on, you're going to act first, and you're going to trust your gut, and you're going to move forward anyways. That's number 3. All right. Number 4, and this is the final thing that I want you to think about as these challenges continue to arise. What is more painful? Choosing to persevere or the alternative? Let's talk about it. What is the alternative? Let's say that you choose not to persevere. Let's say that you choose not to push on. The alternative is, 1, you don't have a business anymore, or 2, maybe now you're in the workplace and you have to go find a job. And we all know how hard that is right now, because most of the big companies that usually are hiring and that people go to are laying people off, putting on hiring freezes, and are really getting hit very, very hard. So what is the alternative? The alternative really is basically to be unemployed. So my question to you, what is more painful? Choosing to persevere through these challenges that are massively uncomfortable, cause tons of anxiety, cause tons of overwhelm, or the alternative, having nothing, not having a business, not having your freedom, not having control over your lifestyle? To me, it's persevere every single day. You can throw an absolute shit brick house right at my face, and I will continue to persevere. And I'm sure that created a perfect image of you guys thinking of a massive shit pile being thrown at my face. But regardless of what's thrown my way, you have to continue to choose to persevere. That's my choice, and I hope it's yours too. All right, y'all, wrapping this up. the 4 things that I want you to consider. Sorry, the 5 things that I want you to consider. When you are faced with a challenge, you view it as a test day. You view it as the universe saying, how bad do you really want it? And you show up and you show the universe how bad you really want it. In addition to that, if you choose to quit, who else are you letting down aside from yourself? Number 2, what are you willing to sacrifice? Number 3, when you don't have all the answers, you choose to act first. And number 4, what is more painful, persevering or the alternative? I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys wrote that stuff down. I hope you guys take this and use this on a day-to-day. It's going to be hard. I want you guys to know that I have your back. I want you guys to know that I will continue to make these videos, and I hope you guys enjoy them. If you guys want to shoot me a little DM, let me know, hey, Chad, keep doing this. This is definitely helping. That will motivate me even more to continue to make videos like this. So let's go kick some ass, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.